Are you ready to unleash your full potential and become unstoppable in your success and leadership?
Welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, where we provide powerful insights and strategies for coaches, corporate leaders, and entrepreneurs. I'm Alexanne Carter.
And I'm Carol Register, and we're certified master neurocoaches who are passionate about helping you overcome your limiting beliefs and optimize your performance.
Each week, we'll be sharing actionable tips and strategies using neuroscience, from interviews with industry experts to solo episodes, to help you lead a life of power, purpose, and possibility on your own terms.
Join our community of like-minded individuals. Hit subscribe now, and let's be unleashed and unstoppable together. Hey, man, are we going to be bringing you something powerful today? Let's dive in, Alex Leanne.
All right. Last week in our episode, we started to talk a little bit, and I shared a little bit about my experience surfing.
Yeah.
It was actually this past week, right? But the episode we just had released today when we're recording this. But I talked to Carol and I said, you know what? I think we really need to go dive a little deeper in really what was happening in my body, my brain, my self-talk. Because Carol and I are always talking about the neuroscience of the success and the wealth, and we talk about, the frameworks. But I wanted to peel back some layers and really share, like, in real live moment of what was actually happening and why I am so, so grateful to have the tools that I have access to and have really dedicated time to work through a lot of this, because I know in that moment, had that moment had happened many years ago, the result would have been very different. And so I really wanted to share this. And I thought it would be, Caroline talked about it being really, really fun to really peel back, like, what is actually going on in our bodies? Because every day we're up against new challenges, right? We're up against big things. We often hear the saying, like, you can do hard things. I mean, and yes, you can, but there are some moments where we find ourselves terrified.
Right.
Our bodies, right, will shut down, right? There's that whole fight or flight freeze, but there's things that we can really walk through, especially if there's moments in our life where we want to try something new, or we're up to big things. We don't want to turn around and walk away. We want to have the tools, or I know for me, I'm so grateful to have the tools to support me. And I know Carol is the same thing for you, right? Like, this is a big year for both of us in our businesses, in our personal lives. Yeah. And so to really talk through, and for me to be really honest with what happened. But what
did happen? Tell me what happened, Alex.
So on Monday, I went surfing for the first time in many years. I surfed many, many years ago at my wedding. Actually, we went with our wedding party. But this is the very first time that I went surfing here in Panama, where the waves can be a little bit more rougher and bigger and a little daunting. And I didn't really realize until I got in the water how nervous I was in the water because of a water accident I'd had many years ago. Wow. So it's so funny how, like, I did all the dry land training, and I've been studying, like, literally every morning I sit there and I watch the surfers. I've been doing the visualizations. I'm imagining being on the waves. I didn't anticipate the moment I'd stepped in that water, I walked closer and the water got a little bit stronger, that I would be so panicked, and realized at that point that there was still a bit of trauma in me and my body about the wave, about the water.
I mean, you literally, subconsciously, just to pause, you've got this past story, this trauma that happened that is circulating without your awareness. And it comes up of, this is daunting, this belief. And so you don't even realize that you're carrying this forward. So what happened next?
So, well, I'm in the water. I'm committed, right? I mean, I was super excited, and I had friends there with me, and it was like, okay, well, let's go, right? I'm going to trust this process. I'm going to trust myself. Yeah. And so, I think there's so much going through the brain and the body, especially like the first time you go get on the board. So I get on the board and I'm listening to the instructor. But what happened was my first instructor didn't speak English. And, there's just so much going on that you're trying to remember to learn with how to get up and all of these things and
Yeah.
paying attention to the water that I didn't even think
So
about that.
relate to this. Yes.
And I'm literally on the board and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be paddling? When am I supposed to get up? I'm not looking behind me. I'm leaning on someone to tell me what to do. And I realized, and then that's what totally freaked me out because then I was like, oh my goodness, I now can't even understand the language. And I made it through, like it's fine, but I realized in the moment, like now the fear just escalated even more.
Yeah.
And I was now in panic mode and my body was, I was shaking. Like, I mean, even as we're talking, my body is shaking right now. Right. And I'm panicked and I'm shaking. And I spoke to one of the other instructor and he's like, are you okay? And he could see I was not okay. I mean, I was crying, completely
Yeah.
honest. I was crying because my body now needed to release the panic in my brain, in my body and my brain.
Yeah.
And I need a minute. I need a minute. I knew I needed to get grounded. I needed to just feel the ground on my feet. I needed to just be, right? To be
Yeah.
able to
Yeah.
have that time to process. But here was what was really cool that happened in the moment. He came over, he checked on me, made sure I was okay. He gave me the space. He's like, take your time, which I was so grateful for, right? And
Yeah.
he said, I want you to scream. He's like, I want you to scream as loud as possible. And he did it with me. And him and I, we just screamed and we screamed and we screamed. And
Wow.
I laughed, right? Because then how can you not, like, now this is fun, right? We screamed, we
Yeah.
laughed, and I just really did the five senses of like my feet in the ground, in the sand, my hands on the board, could feel the waves. Even though they were moving, I could still feel the waves. And I just really grounded through my five senses to get my nervous system regulated.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
And
scream is such a powerful release tool, too, of being able to process the fear and the panic that were arising and to just release it out there, let it, rather than allow it to continue to be stored in your body because you were having a very physiological reaction with the shaking. You even mentioned I was shaking, I'm shaking right now talking to you about it. Like our bodies store our beliefs and our emotions powerfully. So thought and emotion equals belief. And when that deep emotion is tied to it, especially with old traumatic events, it gets wired in so deeply we don't even realize. And so here you're with your instruction, I can picture it now. Everybody picture it with me. And you're standing there and you're screaming, and you've had the tears. Tears are a release. Tears release neurotransmitters that actually comfort us. And so then what happened, Alex?
so then I shared what was going on. I shared with the instructor, like, this is what's happening to me right now. I shared what had happened about trying to do the math here. I mean, it's about like 10, 12 years ago, roughly, right? So, I mean, it's been a while,
Yeah,
but it still
but
sticks
it's
with you.
still in there.
So,
Yeah,
yeah. And I mean, it's not that I haven't been in the water since then, but where we live, like on the beach, there's waves. It's a surfing beach, right? And I
right.
usually choose to go for more calm waters to be in. And in all honesty, like remember, like I really haven't gone in the water since I've been here because of this fear. I've gone in other water, but I'm careful in this water not to go too far.
Yeah.
So so there
So
was
this
that.
water already feels a little bit intimidating or even scary to you. Like you have a healthy respect for it. But maybe even beyond that, a lot of fear attached to it that you're not even aware of.
And these waves were also not little baby waves. I was under the impression that we were going to go, like, there is a part of the beach that, they take
Like
little.
on the bunny hill, on the ski slope,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
This was not the bunny hill. This was not the kids run. No, no, which I thought we were going to start over there. No, I
Yeah.
mean, my friends who are surfers, and one of my girlfriends been made and not just made a joke, but she kind of like pointed out, like, hey, I'm out here surfing with like the pros, and which was kind of cool, right? Like that kind of feels good when she points that out, especially we've got all this emotion.
Mm.
Before I got to that point, I did express what had happened. I thought it was important that my instructor understood where I was coming from, what was going on in my head
Yeah.
when I was in relationship with the water and the board and everything. So
Yeah.
he was really great. And he really coached me through. He really talked through. I don't like putting my head in the water. those of you listening are thinking, what do you mean you're going surfing? But again, my sister had a near drowning experience when I was a child, right? Now
Yeah.
we know what happens between 0 to 8. So that happened even earlier as a child, and that always stuck with me. So me
Yeah.
being 10 underwater, that's like another traumatic experience that I've also always
So you've
afraid to.
got a stack of a couple of significant traumatic experiences. And there may be even something else in there when you tie in your experience on the slopes.
Yeah, so you can see, right? Like that
There's a stack.
there's stacking of what's going on, right? So the body is really like processing a lot of information. And I am a master certified neuro coach. And I'm like, okay, so like I just listen to my body, I connect with my body, I breathe very deeply to really regulate my nervous system. And
Yeah.
then I borrowed my daughter's affirmation, the one she got from Kid Strong, is I am strong, I am brave, I can do this. And every wave that came at me, I am strong, I am brave, I can do this. And I verbalized out loud what was going through. So my instructor knew what was happening. My instructor could support me. He could give me alternative. He could give me options, right? Another thing as an educator, I know the importance of voice and choice. So by
And a
having
mentor.
options
Yeah.
to choose, okay, what worked better for me? And so he said, you can either be a dolphin or a jumping fish or something like that, right? So I became a jumping fish. So I jumped over the waves, right? Because these, again, we weren't on the bunny hill. We were like
Right.
really up against some bigger waves, which also made me nervous. So he taught me different things. He was there with me. And here was also something else that was really powerful. I did look around at my friends because I went with a group of friends. And I
Yeah.
remember that all my friends also shared with me that they were also nervous in the water. So
Yeah.
what that helped me feel was safe, right?
Yeah.
Our brains are always looking for safety. And so I felt safe because my friends were safe. And I knew that they all were a little bit apprehensive, just
Yeah.
like me. And this is why we all decided to do it together. Because when I saw them, right, it gave me some confidence that I could do this too, knowing that they also felt like me. And so that was really, really helpful for with the confidence
Right.
and being
Well,
able to,
I
yeah, to like,
actually
like,
want to pause here and point out, I mean, you had been visioning, it, but I was literally going to ask you that. What about the energy of the group you're in? So we receive energy from those around us. And if, you're with a group and everybody's very nervous, that can be a part of it. The past experiences you've had and more than one can be a part of it. The uncertainty of being in a new arena, never having faced a large wave, can be a part of it. And that you're very aware of what's happening in your body as you start to panic and as you start to cry. And being able to release, like there's a series of events that happened around this incredible experience. So you're out there, you're in a feeling in a panic state, you're crying, you come back to center by regulating your nervous system, letting out the scream, and then you're repeating the affirmations that you were repeating, I am brave and let's see, I can do this. What were the three?
I am strong, I am
I am
brave.
brave and I can do this. So, what happened next?
I mean, I think it's also important to identify, because I forgot to share this earlier. Like, I mean, I was at a moment of choice, right? I either continue going
Yeah,
or I come back, right? And because this has been one of my goals for this year, I mean, it's not in my personality to run away, right? As much as my
yeah,
brain was screaming for safety, what made me safe in that moment was seeing that I had other friends that I was doing it with. And so
yeah,
that was how I created that moment of safety. And that's what we get to do once we're aware that our brain is scanning, for the path of least resistance, is looking for safety. I looked for safety in the moment. And it was for me creating that relationship with the instructor and seeing that, hey, my friends are here, we're having fun, and this is not about performance. This is really
yeah.
about being present. I caught myself reminding myself, be here now. That's been a big motto of mine since I moved to Panama. It's be here now. Just be in this moment.
Be in the
Be here
present.
now. It's one wave at a time, and I just really and then the affirmation, and just did one wave at a time, and just really focused on what I got to do, and
Woo!
really, really invited myself to enjoy it. Right. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
and invitation, because we do get to always invite ourselves, sorry, to enjoy something in any moment, because
I
even,
love that so much because, from our love comes joy. Joy comes out of that, and out of joy comes peace. So when you give yourself permission to enjoy something and you have gratitude, celebration, it actually releases anxiety and brings in the peace and calm. And so it's such a beautiful principle to give yourself permission to not only be strong and brave and tell yourself that you can do it, but to do it in a way where you're giving yourself permission to enjoy it. That's so incredible.
well, I think it was the messy piece, right? Because again, as high performers, right, we want to look perfect, want to all of this thing. I mean, there's all these pro surfers out there, and they look amazing when they're on the surfboard. But in that moment, it's like, that's not what this is about. This is
Yeah.
about learning something new. It's about having fun, and it's about just, spending time with friends. So just being reminded of that is so powerful, right? It's like
Yeah.
why we're doing something, right? And so that was a big part of it. And then as we were wrapping up the lesson, there was a moment where I had an opportunity where I could just stop, or I got asked, "Would you want to go out one more time?" And I was like, "Let's go. You know what? I'm gonna go one more time. I'm here." Right. I mean, still nervous. I'm like, let's go. Let's give it one more go. And in that moment, I did pause, because I snowboard, and there are moments when I'm snowboarding where in the past I like, sometimes like I should stop now, but I'll go out, and then my last one is like is not, it's not the best run,
Yeah.
and get tired. So I really noticed that again in the inner dialogue of like, well, remember what happens when you go snowboarding. It's like, no, like just again, be here now, be present.
Yeah.
And I did get up, and I fell off like right away, and I got right back up because I really wanted to finish strong. And so I could have been like, that's my last. I was like, no, 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 I want to finish strong here. I don't want to repeat this pattern where my last one so I got back up again. And what was really cool afterwards, and this is just, for anyone listening, when you try something new, and you are the permission to other people.
Yeah.
This is what came to me. This is all the feedback. I had a lot of moms, especially, were like congratulating me. I got tons of text messages and feedback, which I'm blown away by, because you think it's I'm just going surfing, but
Yeah.
it's more than that, right? I mean, the
It is
fear with water, you know?
so much more. And
Yeah.
one of the, I want you to keep going, but I just want to pause really quick and say, from a neuroscience perspective, you can say the words, I finished strong. It's present. It's done. It's already done. I finished strong. And I think that's so beautiful as you're walking us through that process. Keep going.
So yeah, well, I mean, no, I love that you brought that back to that, Carol, because like in the moment, I'm thinking, is that what I said? And that's what I'm choosing to continue to say, is like, I finished strong. I finished strong, right? And that's the most important thing, to walk away with that confidence. I was like, I did it. I'm taking Abby's, right? Like, I did it, mommy. And that's kind of like a lot of Abby was in me, motivating me.
Yeah.
But it was really neat, the feedback, the text messages. I mean, it was overwhelming to
Yeah.
receive all that positive feedback of
Right.
just being mission, and for others to see, like, even though I was nervous, and even though I'm working on my relationship with the water, that I gave other people permission to give it a go, or to try. And I have had other moms reach out and say, oh, is this going to be a regular thing? Like, they want to be part of this now, which I think is really, really cool.
So cool. Yeah.
And and of course, me, like, I let people know, because a lot of, one of the first people question, if you meet people, is people ask if you surf. And so of course, for the last several months, I'm like, I haven't even been in the water yet. So it was really fun to celebrate and share that with everyone, like, I finally did it.
Yeah.
And the commitment that I made afterwards, I think this is what's, the final loop, right, with all the neuroscience pieces of the commitment, and my lesson in this was, I get to spend more time in the water, right? how many times do we avoid the thing? How many
Right.
times do we avoid the difficult thing, right? And whether, and I do believe I will get back on another surfboard and I want to try the bodyboarding and I want to try a bunch of different sports now, but I get to spend more time in the water because it's only by getting in the water that I'm going to feel more comfortable. And
Right.
and that's really what my lesson was when I walked away,
And I've
is
I've seen you do this so many times, and you also like um the leaning into the vulnerability and the authenticity is what we all relate to. We all stand in moments where it feels if we're growing, if we're up leveling and we're living into our highest and best lives, if we're being unleashed and unstoppable, then we get to have the courage to share what this journey looks like. And that is not an easy thing to do by any means. And I've seen you really lean into this and embrace this in a way that is impactful because we relate to the stories. We relate to the falling down and getting up again, learning to crawl, learning to walk, and what we get to do when we face our fears with this beautiful neuroplasticity we have and all of these incredible tools that we have available to us. So I just want to acknowledge you for that because going out on your surfboard and standing there and shaking and feeling the anxiety and crying and then really leaning in and feeling that panic rise up and wanting to really quickly go, no, 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 this is not going to work. I'm going to go get back on shore. I mean, it's a great example of being 3 feet from gold. Great
Mhm.
example where instead of walking away in that story, like happens if you're not familiar, 3 Feet from Gold's a new book out by Greg S. Reed and Sharon Lecter, and it's also in Napoleon Hill's Think and Go Rich book. Where we're standing there and we're literally 3 feet away from gold, and that's when the panic rises up. You're going, okay, I gotta give myself a break. And you turn around and you go, I'm gonna try this another day, or I don't think this is really for me. And you did it. You stayed in it. You stuck with it. You faced the fear and the panic, and you kept going.
Yeah, in the moments, right? I thought it was a really beautiful story to tell afterwards, right? To really understand
Yeah,
because I'm so grateful that I had all these tools. I knew exactly what was going on. I was able to name what was happening, which
yeah.
is so empowering when we're in situations like this. And the last thing I wanna say in terms of my lesson, not only just me getting and choosing to spend more time in the water to support me with feeling more comfortable, it also reiterated I get to take my kids in the water,
Mm,
right? Because we think of the generational patterns, right? If we think
yeah,
about some of the fears that maybe your parents or your loved ones have instilled in you, by me not spending more time in the ocean with my girls, I'm already noticing, a little bit more expansion because of how my reaction to that, right? And so, of course, being so aware of this with my book Free to Be Me and thinking through a lot of this, I realize I get to be the example. And so I'm looking forward to spending more time with them in the water, having creating more of that with them, those opportunities, and finding some playful games and things like that to play with them so that they become friends with the water, right? It's
yeah.
just like we become friends with our fear. We do get to become friends with it.
Mm,
There's information there, and it's when we lean into that curiosity, like, okay, what is the fear teaching me? What is this lesson here? And
mm,
we have an opportunity in all those moments to make a choice.
yeah,
We can rise higher when we are aligned with the vision. And for me, that's what helped me through this. Is like I've been envisioning, this is a goal of mine, to surf this year and embodying I'm a surfer and all of that. And so that is going to require somebody to work through this and move through this and to be vulnerable and open and honest, like this is where I'm at, and
yeah,
ask for support. That was a big thing. I asked for support, and
yes.
really
That's
hope
huge. Yeah,
this this story today, that this sharing, pulling back the layers, really helps you who's listening today, like if you're up against anything, to really hear my story and know that it's possible, you can do this. And feeling the fear is normal. Like it's gonna happen. It's really who you become that process. Are you gonna just face the wave and learn through it, or are you gonna turn around and walk away?
Yeah. Man, it's inspiring to me, Alex, because right now, as you know, I'm relaunching my YouTube channel. I've had it since 2022. And I had the whisper in my heart to move forward with it. And I was justifying it and all, not doing it in all sorts of ways, scarcity thinking, not abundance thinking, not, being open to the whisper, to trusting myself and feeling panicked every time I thought about it. And so I relate to this so much. And I just want to invite those of you who are out there. I would love your support. I am asking directly for your support. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel and please continue to follow us here, share this here if this is impacting you. And Alex, we have some exciting news. Next week is our actual official fourth anniversary of this podcast, this award-winning podcast. We're so grateful to you, our listeners, our followers, those of you who share. We're on all the platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple. The majority of you are listening on Apple Mobile to us. We know that, and then Spotify next. But we're also on iHeart. We're on Good Pods and several other networks. So choose your favorite and come in and take a listen because we're all about sharing with you the leadership, the neuroscience of leadership, health, and wealth. And we're just in gratitude today. We're in deep gratitude for you being on this journey with us. Our goal is to serve you, to give you the tools that will help you to live an unleashed and unstoppable life. Right, Alex?
Oh yeah, I love that. Yes.
I'm always crooked when I do this. I don't know why. It's interesting. Okay, there we go.
Oh, we are excited. We are so grateful to you. And it is all about being unleashed and unstoppable, right? Because
Yeah.
our brain are wired to keep us in safety and familiarity. You are not here to play small. You are here to play big and bold and unstoppable.
And get on
And
your own surfboard, right?
yes, exactly, right? Like I love that analogy, like being on your own surfboard and looking at the waves. And just as we're wrapping up, there's a lot out there about surfers. I mean, there's a reason why those who surf really do love the surf. There's the thrill, there's the unpredictability, and it teaches
Yeah.
you so much about leadership. It teaches you so much about trust and surrender because the waves are unpredictable, right? It teaches about reading the waves, building that relationship and that trust. And when you catch a wave, it feels so free. It's so freeing, right? Like that feeling. And so I've obviously been learning a lot more about the correlation between surfing and not say high achievement, but just leadership in general, right? Like the
Yeah.
parallels
Yeah.
in it. And so it's been such a really neat opportunity to experience it now and understand a little bit more, why there are so many parallels because, there are big waves coming at you and you can either, dolphin dive or fish sleep over it, right? But the idea is that you still continue to move forward and you celebrate where you're at and enjoy the process, enjoy the journey as you are, navigating through it.
Yeah. Support Alex and Free to Be Me. It's incredible. I'm super excited about this. Oh my goodness. It's a children's book done with an incredible artist. And the gift and benefit that you're going to receive from this book for yourself, your friends, your family, your children, your nieces, your nephews, your friends' children. It's a powerful gift on starting from the get-go to wire in those beautiful beliefs that we are worthy, we're loved, we're safe. And Alex, thank you. We can't wait to see you next week and celebrate.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Unleashed Unstoppable podcast with your hosts, Alexander Carter and Carol Register.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review and subscribe.
That's all for this episode, Wildly Ambitious Leaders. See you next week.